Hi guys, welcome back to yet another edition of IG Live with Harman Pro India. Today we have a very special guest with us. I'm sure you all have heard of her. Her name is Aditi Ramesh. She's a Mumbai-based Carnatic jazz singer. Now that's a combination that you don't get to hear very often. Who would have thought? I mean, from one angle, if you think about it, yeah, sure, it works because both styles of music are based on improvisation and the musicianship of the person involved. But yeah, I mean, she's a fusion musician, Carnatic jazz singer, and yeah, I wouldn't want to. Talk any more about what she's all about. Let's hear it from her own mouth. I'll just add her. Hey Aditi.
Hi, Harish, how are you?
Hi, how are you? All well. I think this is the first time we're interacting after the live arena, which was again for a couple of minutes between the running around.
Yeah, that was super nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's an event that we at Harman also look forward to every year.
I
It's a
know,
sad thing that it didn't happen this year,
but
but
hopefully next year
yeah,
it
hopefully next year.
happens. Yeah.
So, how's things? How are you?
Good. I mean, yeah, going well.
Okay, considering the situation, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So, why don't you share a bit about yourself, your journey with the guys who are on with us right now?
My journey. I mean, what? Okay.
Your background. How did you start
My
out?
background.
I mean, yeah, as in, what drew you towards music? Was it always decided,
It
or
was
was it
always,
something that
yeah.
you chanced upon? Yeah,
Music was always a part of my life since I was very young. I
right.
started singing when I was two, and I started learning
When you
piano
were
when I was
two.
5. Yeah, when I was two.
Wow.
And nobody in my family is a musician or like, I mean, even sings. My dad's sister, out of my whole family, only person who sings. Otherwise, not. I mean, everyone is an engineer or a doctor or a scientist. Typical South Indian family.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I
my,
sympathize.
yeah. So they. I mean, half of my family still thinks I'm a lawyer, and I don't correct them because it's easier. So I mean,
Wow.
uh,
Okay.
no extended family and all.
Oh,
But
so are you a jazz lawyer or a Carnatic lawyer?
oh god.
Sorry.
No. So yeah, my parents are, they love music. Like they played music in the house, since I
Right.
was a baby. And then that obviously did something. I don't know, like I don't even know how or what, but I think if music is played in the house, where there are young children, you definitely pick up
Right.
something. You're more receptive at that age. So, like I said, I
Absolutely.
started singing when I was two, and then they thought, no one in our family does this. We should put her into classes, and so I started piano when I was 5, and I did Carnatic music on and off throughout my childhood, and then I mean, ICSE, 10th board exams, 12th board exams, law school, I was a lawyer. I kind of had a break from music for about 11 years when I didn't
Wow.
touch a piano. I didn't really sing. It was very on and off. I didn't practice. Like it was a complete break after being so involved with music in my whole childhood. And
Right.
yeah, and then I moved to Bombay right after law school. I worked in a law firm for a couple of years, and then towards the end of my time as a lawyer, like somebody gave me an old keyboard, and I finally, like, I don't know, started getting back to it. I had a lawyer band as well. We did only two
Wow.
gigs,
Okay.
very very not very serious, but lots of fun. So we did two gigs. Everyone was a lawyer, and then I quit in December 2016, and in March 2017 I started doing music professionally. So it's been about 3.5 years now of doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a
Okay.
lot has happened, like so much has happened in like from then to now. I think that I started later than most people who start out in music, and I think I really felt that drive and push that I need to make this count. You know, I'm older
Right.
than all of these young 19-year-old, 20-year-olds who are getting. So I really, really worked like a crazy person, especially in the first 2 years. And I think that really made a lot of things happen for me. And I mean, and I had a day job as well for the first 2 years, and on Saturdays and Sundays, like full days, because that was the only time I didn't have office work, and it was a
Right.
lot of running around, a lot of hustle, and it's been 1.5 years, and I've been doing music full time. So it's great, you know, being able. I never thought I would be able to do this. So yeah, that's my background. I guess a bit of a long, yeah.
But then, how did you veer towards the jazz side of things? Was it something you picked up yourself, or you decided to school yourself in, or?
I actually was not really into jazz music in school or college. School, I listened to a lot of 60s and 70s classic rock, psychedelic rock, folk. Like I said, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones,
Right.
Cat Stevens, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan. And in college is when I started listening to a lot of blues. And
Right.
I also like blues, funk, reggae, world music, classical music. I just used to sit in my room and listen to discographies. And I think that's when I really developed my musical taste. And I didn't sing, like I said, like I like since 10th standard till like when I became a musician, I didn't really sing like seriously, and I didn't touch a piano. I was very, very out of touch. But the great thing is that I listened to a lot of music, and that's really shaped my taste and my sound, because all of those influences kind of came together. So in college, like I said, I listened to blues like Muddy Waters, Etta James, Howling Wolf, Little Walter, Robert Johnson, Son House, reggae music, UB40, Toots and the Maytals, Bob Marley, of course, world music, Trilo Guttu, Mahavishnu Orchestra, all of that kind of, you know, all of the fusion world music kind of zone. And of course, Carnatic and Hindustani music as well. And what was the question? Like, how did I come to jazz?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
How
so
did you
jazz,
take the
I
detour
wasn't
to
really
jazz?
into
Yeah.
jazz. Like, I think I hadn't really been exposed to it when I was in college or school. And it was when I was in my notice period, actually, as a, yeah, Nalsar vibe, somebody said. Yeah, so in my notice period as a lawyer, my law firm was next to this place in Bombay called Cafe Zoe. And
Okay.
they used to have these weekly jazz jams. So once a week, they had a house band which would be playing like standards. They could play anything. You can go up and say, I want to sing this song, and they could just play it, even if you don't know them, you've never met them. Like amazing musicians. And so I started going there because I could walk there from office, and I was really nervous. I was so out of touch. I was not a musician. I didn't practice every day. I was like fully like not in that zone, but it fascinated me. So I went there a couple of times, and I was really, really nervous to even go up and ask if I can sing a song. And like just the artistry and the flow of those musicians, and how they could just play anything, and how they communicated with each other through the music. Literally, like someone's going to go in for a solo, somebody's done. It's like the notes kind of tell you that. They didn't even have to say, I'm done, I want a solo. No, just like the music itself. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is really, really cool. So that's when I started listening to jazz. So that was in like December 2016. And then into 2017 is when I started listening to a lot of jazz. And I just fell in love with the form. So that's where I got into jazz. Wow. That's probably like, after all of my influences, probably the most recent one would be jazz, because I didn't listen to it so much earlier.
Right.
Yes, the house bands are amazing. Like they are, I don't know, like seriously, you practice with your band, and you need to go over every line. And those house bands, you can just say like, I want to play this song. They'll just pull out the sheet music and they can just play it as if they have rehearsed that. It's really, really talented musicians.
So while we're in that space, I feel that the same goes for session musicians as well.
Yeah, definitely.
because some of them are incredible musicians, and more often than not, they don't get their dues because
Yeah,
they
people
just
don't
they're
notice
behind
like
the
this.
scenes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
true, so true. Yeah.
and some of the best musicians I've met are session musicians because I think I'm not too much of a musician, but kind of a hobbyist maybe. Whatever I've learned, the most I've learned is from session musicians, be it technique or the approach or how to get into the groove of things, to find that pulse, all of that. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
before you start playing and before you start being part of a whole project or a band, these are just words for you. But once you're in that space, you actually understand and realize what they're talking about.
Hmm.
All the
True,
give and
true.
take and the taking cues and all of that.
Yeah, you have to just
So
read each other so well, and it's all there in the notes and in the music.
right. So I also want to understand what was the reaction at home when you said that you're going to combine Carnatic and jazz,
I never said I was going
or
to
there
combine
was
Carnatic and
you
jazz.
okay?
And I
Yeah, oh
don't
yeah,
even
they
like
still think
it.
you're a
Like,
lawyer, right?
no, no, not my parents and all. This is like somebody's
Yeah,
cousin's aunt, somebody like, what?
right.
It's too much effort to explain to them.
True, true,
Musician,
true, true.
it's fine, like it's cool. But
Yeah, I kind of know what you're saying because when I got into advertising, and I think to a large extent my parents didn't understand what went into it, and so my dad would always say that yeah, he does something creative.
yeah, it's easier. I
That's
mean,
what
it's
it.
okay. It's all right. Everybody
Yeah,
has,
it's
you
okay.
know, it's
Correct.
okay. But yeah, no, but I never said I'm going to combine Carnatic with jazz. Just happened organically, and then I mean, I combine lots of different things with lots of different things. I don't like to be put into that box that Carnatic hyphen
Sambar soul,
jazz
someone saying.
artist.
Original dog.
Yes, I wrote, that's my latest release, and it talks about not wanting to be slotted into box and be put, labels upon, like just Carnatic hyphen jazz artist. No, just Aditi
Right.
Ramesh musician. That's it. And
Yeah. Right.
my sound is whatever you get when you listen to it. It can be whatever you want to
Correct.
describe it as.
True. True.
But you were asking me about the reaction at home.
Hmm. Or even outside when you presented the material to people, how do they take it?
I feel like my music from the beginning, it was not so much about the genre, but I think it's always been very driven by the lyrics, and the lyrics are something that is, most of my songs, the lyrics are stuff that anybody can kind of connect to, relate to, very everyday things that happen to all of us. Not really like
Right.
big ideas, but stuff that anybody can relate to. So I think that people really connected with that from the beginning, and people really connected to my story as well. Especially in the beginning, I was very nervous and underconfident. I mean, I was just completely new, and I think I got a lot of support and love from the audiences, from the listeners, and it was really, really encouraging. And of course, I guess the sound was very different, so people, yeah, it was a really nice response in the beginning.
Okay. And all of it positive.
Uh, you want me to talk about negative?
No, I'm just curious. I'm just curious to understand how people,
Yeah,
there are purists who don't
I know,
want
I know.
any. Yeah,
I
that's
can
what
get
I'm
to
getting
that.
at. Yeah.
I would say that in the beginning, I didn't get negative responses because my reach wasn't like that. It didn't reach people who would have a negative response. It was a very small group of supportive people. And of course, as your reach increases, you obviously do get some negativity as well, like which I face more now than I did in the beginning. And I think it's good to just take that in a positive light, that my music is actually reaching people. Not everyone's going to be happy with it, and it's good. It's reaching people. So when I see thumbs down on YouTube videos of mine, I feel happy because it's reaching people. And it's, if you
You're
have
ruffling
like,
feathers. Yeah.
100 views and like everybody's saying, wow, so good. I mean, I'd rather have 10,000 views and like lots of thumbs down. It's fine. I'm not trying to please everybody. I'm just expressing myself, and you're fully free to dislike it. So yeah, I have got, people DMing me and saying the notes that you sang were wrong, and this is not a proper akara.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not aiming. And then of course it does lead to self-doubt. I'm like, you know what, I have actually studied this for many years. Should I put out something fully Carnatic to prove that I know my stuff? Or I'll get some very Western audience person saying, you know, I don't really get your music because I don't like classical music. So should I put less Carnatic? Should I put more Carnatic? Then I'm like, you know what? I'll just do whatever in the moment, because I don't think of it like that I'm going to put one phrase here or 10% Carnatic, 10% funk. It is whatever it is. I don't think about music in that way, and it's fine. Like, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I get
True.
it. I mean, I might not like something, so it's totally fine. Like, I have no problem with it.
That attitude is probably what this entire century needed, because
Yeah.
I see the moment you log on to YouTube, you have people going around saying, you know, this guy is better than this guy. Hey, these two guys are different. Just enjoy them as they are. Why do you want to get into that?
I think it's very important to not compare yourself to other people, and it's something that we all find. Of course, even I find myself doing that, you know, like, oh, this person started when I started, but they have 100 times more views than me. You know, stuff like that does not get you anything. It's only self-destructive. Rather than think about that and obsess about that, make your own music, make more music. Don't think about what they're doing, and feel happy that you were able to express yourself, you know.
Exactly. And these are the kind of people that, you know, make you think twice before scrolling down to the comment section, because you know what you're going to find there.
Okay, yes. There. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about your perception. I'm sorry, who was that? Tell us about your perception of yourself as a musician after you wrote your first EP. That's Ek Plate Vada Pav Ke Cutting Chai. Okay.
Wow, I love the handle.
Quite a mouthful, literally.
Vada Pav and cutting chai, man. That's life. My perception of myself as a musician, I honestly could not believe that I made that, because I had never really seriously sat down and made music like that, created my own music before that. And also, it all happened very quickly, because I decided to be a musician and everybody was like, you have to put out your music, you have to put out your own music, or no one's going to know who you are, you have to do it quick. So it was literally, I think all 4 of those songs were written in a month and recorded also within a month.
Nice.
And like, I didn't think, that's the thing. That's why when you said like, when did you think about doing Carnatic plus jazz? It was not, it was like, shit, I need to, like I told you, I felt like I was 27 when I started out as a musician. And I felt like, okay, I need to make up for this time that I didn't start doing this earlier. So it was very quick, you know, like it was like, I'm going to push really hard and record this. And I honestly, like, some of those songs from my first EP till date are some of my favorites to play live. Of course, they've evolved now, and I feel like they sound smoother. My voice has changed. The way that we play the songs and have arranged them has changed over hundreds of shows. But I can't believe that came out, you know, in that, I don't know, like, because I wasn't going for anything. I didn't know what I was going for. And it turned out each of the songs are very individual in their character. They all have a different thing going on. So how I felt of myself as a songwriter, all I knew is that I want to do more of this. That's all. Like, I think that's what I felt.
Okay. We have another AKG endorser, Neeraj Arya from Kabir Cafe, wishing you good luck.
Keep making music.
Thank you so much.
Shivam is dying for if you listen to Divine.
Is dying for me to listen to? Yes, seriously, thanks to Harman for supporting independent musicians. I agree with you, Neeraj.
I'm sorry, I've lost.
No, it's not
connection
over
with my
already. It's just that the internet it's Harish's internet, not mine.
Check, check, check. Hey,
Samvit?
my hair is fine, macha. I wasn't looking at my hair.
I wrote CLAT. Yes, I wrote CLAT. We were the second batch to have CLAT. Before that, individual law schools had their own exams.
Okay, which food can we expect to be your next title? Next title of your song? I think we've covered that. Sambar, right?
No, I mean, that I've already done. They're asking the next title.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was joking about making a song about rasam, so maybe that.
Acha.
Yeah, see, someone just said, would we get a song on rasam soon? Some Bengali food. Beguni. What about that?
Yeah, you can combine, you can take out the jhol from Mache's jhol and put rasam in that. So, well,
See, rasam
Omlan is probably cringing over there. So what do you look forward to every time that you go on stage? Is it just that I have to perform and give it my best, or is there something else that goes on in your mind?
What goes on in my mind?
As in, is it just living the moment, or is there a bigger picture? Or
When I go on stage, it's a very, how do I even describe it? I kind of step out of myself and inside the music that I'm playing, if that makes sense. I definitely
I know what you mean.
I
Yeah.
become a different person altogether because, off stage, I am like some little bit awkward. I'm a very like geeky person. When I'm on stage, it's like it's like all of us inside our head, we have that one voice of reason, and we have a lot of stupidity which surrounds that. So when I get on stage, I don't know, something happens to me, and that voice of reason, wise person kind of takes over, and
right.
I kind of feel like there is some sort of larger purpose. It's not even the music. There is some sort of a connection with the audience. It's almost spiritual, maybe. I don't know. I can't even put words to it, and it's been so long since I've been on stage, so that's really sad. But yeah, I feel very like powerful. Like I can do anything, and I know the answer to everything. And like in real life, obviously, I'm not like that all the time. I don't. But that person is like, I don't know. I forget myself.
So it's almost like, it sounds like method acting, right? Step into that personality or character.
Yeah, it sort of just happens, and I seem like a very confident person who knows what to say. Like when I speak in between my songs, I feel like I really connect to the audience, like to each and every one of them. There is something deeper there. And I think that this has happened over time, because in the beginning, I used to be very, very, very nervous before every show.
Right.
I used to be like, will I make a mistake? I think off late, it's become very like some sort of flow where I'm like, I can do no wrong. There's no mistake that I'm going to make. If I make a so-called mistake, I'll just follow that up. Like I meant to do every single note that I sang and played, and I will make that work. So it's a great experience. Like I come off feeling very, it's like a high, but not even a high. It's like, when you do yoga and you feel really energized after that. It's kind of like that kind of feeling.
Right. Okay. And what role what role has technology played in helping you deliver what you want people to hear in terms of
I feel like
microphones, instruments? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as I have got more experience and done more shows, of course, nowadays I can get a better tech rider than I could in the earlier days. And that has definitely elevated, just the smoothness, the sound, like switching first, something small like switching over to in-ears for every gig, Otherwise, it would be shows where like everything is loud and I can't hear my voice, and like it's still fun. That had its own fun. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, right.
I really enjoyed that too. But there's something about the entire performance being a lot more streamlined. Me being more calm, and throughout the whole thing, I think in-ears was a big improvement. And of course, nowadays I put a nod on my tech rider, so I get a really nice keyboard. I don't have to carry a keyboard also. So that's
Right.
amazing. So that has really definitely elevated it. And just generally, like all of my band members also, them getting more and better gear over the years. And like, I definitely think it plays a big part. It might seem like a small thing, but you know, if you have really good quality sound, you have a great sound engineer, you have the best equipment, it just helps translate the same ideas in a much smoother way. And I think it definitely
True.
makes it more effective. Yeah.
True. So what's your if we have to get into your gear list, or what's the kind of things that you use? You said you use a Nord.
Yeah.
Apart from that, when it comes to
I mean, for my live performances or for home studio, I have all of the Harman gear, which I really love. For live gigs, I like.
you have the 414, right? You have the C414, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I use that for all my releases, and even like videos that I put up from time to time. I use that for all of my vocals, and I use Soundcraft 12-channel MTK mixer.
Right. Okay.
At home. And also for reference, I use the C812 reference headphones. So I use that to check mixes. It's also really good to listen to music on as well.
Yeah, not many. I mean, I don't think anyone other than musicians would prefer listening to music on those kind of earphones, headphones, because they're really flat response, and they let you hear music the way
sound, the way
exactly,
it's supposed to sound.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, it's a beautiful
there's no bass boost.
looking. Yes, exactly. Like these ones I'm using, this has the bass boost, but that is the real sound. Yeah.
True.
But I love the mic. Like the C414 is such a great mic.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever tried using the 414 for Zoom meetings or Google Meets?
No, I have not done that.
Yeah, that'll be like using a sandcastle to
everything. No, it like picks up everything.
Yeah.
It picks up like a scooter going on the road outside.
Correct.
Yeah.
It'll be like using an earth mover to build a sandcastle, probably.
Yeah.
So what else? What's your live setup like? How different is it? Do you prefer a handheld condenser microphone, or do you stick to dynamic?
Dynamic for live.
Okay.
I mean, I'm yet to. I mean, I guess there is actually a Harman mic which I did want to get for live.
It's an AKG mic. Harman is the parent company.
Sorry, my bad. AKG condenser, which is meant for live. Like the C414, we tried it once at a sound check. It just picks up too much of the.
Oh, that's
it doesn't
madness.
Work. Yeah. So I mean,
crazy.
I'm yet to try out the condenser for live, but
there's a C7 and there's a C636 also, I think. Handheld condenser
I will
mics.
try it out whenever, I mean, eventually when gigs start, I will try it out, because the condenser picks up the lows, like especially the lower notes in the vocals. It picks that up much nicer than a dynamic. Like, I like the way that it sounds.
True.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think it's not really everyone's cup of tea, right? I mean, I'm sure you can pull it off, but it's not for every singer or every person who uses a handheld microphone. It's too exacting. I mean, if you stray off the curve, everyone will know.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
But I get nice feels with it. I like it.
With the condenser mic?
Yeah.
Right. So you've used it before, right? A handheld one?
I haven't actually.
Yeah.
I haven't used it on stage. That's the thing. I use it at home.
Okay.
Okay.
Shivam Kumar is asking, when are you planning to do Bollywood?
When they call me. I don't know. I don't have contacts. So
666 Israel says, I really love your music.
Thank you so much.
She rocks on stage. We start from South Indian food and don't stop till you reach North India, they say. Priyanshu
maybe I should do some
SK.
North Indian food too.
Guru Sriram says you should do a chill Tair song.
I actually did write a song called Curd Rice a long time ago. But I mean, that was when I was just starting out. I mean, maybe I should revisit it. I mean, it was very basic. Now, if I would probably change the arrangement of it. But there is a
Was it one of
make my
those
own
files
song.
that we end up naming on a DAW? Time pass
Yeah,
later.
like
One,
no,
two, three.
actually, no, no, actually, we did. I mean, when Ladies Compartment, when I first started it in 2017, and it was just more of an informal thing. But we did play that song in 2 gigs. But if I want to play it now, I probably will refine it a little bit. But it's interesting song, yeah.
Nice. Can you share how do you figure out arranging a track if you have a lot of chunks or patterns written? Girish Saptik, I'm sorry,
If you have a lot of
I don't know if I'm
chunks
pronouncing it
of
right.
patterns written, I mean, I think it's important that your song should have a flow. It's like telling a story. You
Yeah,
can't per se, sometimes you have all these interesting ideas and you've learned, so you know things about notes and rhythms, and there is a thing as too much. It's sometimes you can go simple as well. So if you have a bunch of patterns, maybe first look at which ones you want to work with. You don't have to put all of them into your song. Some of them might fit into a different song, because you don't want to just, I mean, you won't have the listener. It should feel good for your soul when you listen to a song. It shouldn't be like, what's happening? Wait, I'm confused. I'm not understanding.
right,
That doesn't
right.
necessarily always feel so good. So if you have a bunch of patterns, look at which ones can work with each other. What are similarities between those patterns? So if there is similarity, find a nice transition from one pattern to the other so that it flows. It should flow like a story. And also always look at what is your song graph? What dynamic are you starting at? Where is that going? Like, what do you intend with that? The feeling, the emotion, and then see which can fit it. And definitely scrap some of them. Don't put all of them in there.
Yeah, because also to me it sounded like reverse engineering right now. Because
Yeah,
if
if
you
you
make a
already
lot of
have,
patterns and then try to make a song out of it, that's kind of
no,
anticlimactic.
you
If you
can do
have,
it.
and
I
you
am
can.
all
I'm
for
not saying you can't, but
all sorts of
uh,
different methods of songwriting. In fact, like I've been
ah,
teaching this year, so we've been doing a lot of fun experiments in my classes with songwriting. Where one, we start with the chords or we start with the idea, and you see where you can go from there. It's very interesting. So I would say that you could definitely say you have that. It's an
true.
interesting way to
I'm
look
not
at
saying
it.
you can't, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. Maybe to my mind, it seems like okay, you're trying to make a song out of
Cram
something
in
rather
too
than
much, yeah. Maybe it's
yeah,
not as intuitive and natural, but I definitely think it could work
yeah.
as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of Death Clock. They go into the studio with one riff and then make a whole song out of it.
Nice.
Uh, I mean, they're not a band. They're from Metalocalypse, the animated show about a metal band. And they have an actual band that does actual live shows as well.
Oh, nice.
So they don't the guy who's the co-creator of the show. He doesn't write songs. He just writes riffs and goes into the studio, sits
Why
and jams it
not?
out with the drummer. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and then fleshes out the whole song right there.
yeah.
The
Hi,
best in India are
Ishan.
very own.
That's Ishan, my drummer.
I'm sure. And who's Pardu Mani? When do we get Harman TWS? There is no such thing as Harman TWS. So we're not getting it.
Need more reels.
Uh,
I
I,
have one coming up soon. Like, wait for a few days. I've already recorded like the idea, so I will put it up soon.
Hussein K says, I like the Alap you took on Instagram with Doshi drummers.
With Roshni drummers.
No, Doshi, he said. Doshi, D-O, Darshan
Oh,
Doshi,
Darshan,
Doshi drummers.
Darshan.
So
Yeah,
I don't know.
thank you so
For a second, I
much.
thought Doshi drummers was a band.
Doshi drummers. It's like a, yeah, with Darshan, we did that video Anandamrita Karshini sometime back.
Oh,
We
yeah,
did
right,
a
right, right. I saw
collaboration.
that.
So he's talking about
I
that.
saw that. That was
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Just curious, being involved in law, does it help in any aspect of being such a nice singer and keyboard player?
Being involved in law gives, I mean, for me, it gave me life skills of how to deal with all types of people and also not to take anything for granted and just sign things without reading it. That's an important life skill, which if any of you have to sign something, make sure you read it carefully or show it to a lawyer friend or like don't. I think artists usually, like many times, they just sign anything and you never know what You know,
Yeah,
especially
it's
when it
like
comes to
clicking the
rights
I
of your
agree
music.
button. Yeah.
Exactly. So sometimes people like it's like hidden in there, but like they're taking some rights to your work. Like it's very important to safeguard against that. But in terms of singing and piano, I mean that preceded law. That was my childhood. So I don't think being a lawyer helped me with that. But I think it was definitely good life skill training.
Okay.
You got any dinner food order recommendations?
Okay.
I don't know. I usually cook. I think make your own food. It's better than ordering. But if you want to order, but I don't know which city you're in. Like what places are there? I don't know. Get some soup. I don't know. I'm in Bangalore right now, so it's like a little chilly. So
What is the first song you've ever recorded?
the first song I ever recorded was the first song I ever released as well, and that is "A Flux of Time" from my first EP, Autocorrect. That was the first. I
Influx
just
of
wrote
time.
it. Efflux of time. It's a legal
Efflux.
term.
Okay.
It's a legal term,
Okay.
and it is like for me poetic. The passage of enough time to cause something to change. And I wrote it when I was just starting out, and I was very stressed. You know, like I gave up a stable career. I was running around, new artist. No one knows who I am. Not earning enough. Parents are a little skeptical about what I'm doing, and so I was like, when you feel very overwhelmed in life, you just pause and breathe and wait for the efflux of time, and things will change. That's what the song is about.
I will use that word at the earliest opportunity. That's a nice. For a second, I thought it was influx, and then so
No.
it's basically
Efflux.
legalese.
Yeah, it is basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to share with musicians who aspire to take a lesser treaded path, or like you did? What's something that you would advise them, or out of your own learnings or experiences going
I would
about it?
say don't try to be like anybody else. Like
True.
don't. A lot of people, I think we feel afraid sometimes if what we're doing is just completely different from what is seen to be, I don't know, cool or successful or catchy or popular, and like you're doing something completely different. Like just know that some people are not going to like it. Be okay with that. Don't let that, affect you and dilute you. And if you are truly original and you don't think about all of these things, you will strike upon something which, I don't know, is lasting, and you will get what you're looking for, because then you are like nothing else that's out there. You aren't forgettable. You are doing something unique. You are doing something genuine to yourself. So I think don't ever lose that, because we obviously question ourselves. Like you put a lot of work into this song. Like this happens to me all the time, and it's like only this many people streamed it, and maybe people don't get it. Maybe I should make my songs more catchy to the masses. And if I do that and I start thinking of that, then I'm diluting me as a person, as an artist. So
True.
don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the algorithms. Don't just be true to yourself as a person and as an artist.
Right. True. I think that makes a lot of sense, and even more so in, as you rightly said, don't worry about algorithms, because that's pretty much what is driving everything on the online space right now.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not really a strong barometer of how or if something is working or not.
Because the thing is, say you reach tons of people, you had lots of numbers. Like, I don't know, this is just my opinion, but for me and for my own music, I don't think it's reached as much as I would like it to. It hasn't. And the thing is, I can sit and feel bad about that and try and plan and strategize. But the point is, like, the kind of messages that people write to me about how my music and my words like help them, and it connected with them, and it motivated them to, I don't know, do something, change their profession, or get into music after many years, or stand up to their parents about something. Like, I get like these kind of messages are like, okay, it just reaffirms that this feels really good. This is why I make music. And the numbers may or may not come, but if I'm able to, I'm able to do music full time, which is a great dream of mine, and it took a lot of time to get here. And it's connecting with people. It doesn't matter if that's a small number of people or if that's a large number of people. But I know at the end of the day that I'm being true to myself as a artist and as a person, and it's helping people, it's connecting with people. So don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
True that. I want to understand. Do you also undertake commercial projects like? Do you make background scores? Do you make jingles for ads? Are you doing that as well?
I'm slowly starting to get more into that. I think it's also to do with I am like an outsider in every regard. Like, first of all, I'm someone who doesn't really fit into any one category. So sometimes people have problems like, what does she do? So then they take some time to understand it. And I also am an outsider. Like, I've come into the industry late, and maybe not everybody knows that I do this, but it is something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm just starting to get into. Recently, I did a background score to a Tamil short film called B. Selvi and Daughters, which is just premiering at a festival, a couple of festivals. So that was really fun, and I would love to do more of it. If you have a short film or a film you want background score music, get in touch with me. But I don't like know the right people, I guess, yet. But I definitely think more will come, because I found that kind of work really creatively challenging and interesting, writing something to a film so that the music is highlighting the moments of the film, but it shouldn't overpower it as well. You shouldn't even realize that the music is elevating the dialogue or the scene. So that's something I really enjoy, and that's something that was really made possible with the Harman products, because I'm able to do all of that sitting at home. So I definitely would like to do more of it. I have done some little bit of jingle work here and there as well.
Great. There's another question.
How to make components more intricate and interesting by arrangement?
How to make arrangements more intricate and interesting. Like, this is a very vast topic, because when you have a musical arrangement, okay, you have multiple aspects. You have your vocal melody, you have your chords, you have your bass line, you have your rhythm, syncopation, harmonies, backing vocals, all of these elements, lyrics, all of these elements are part of your. But also, okay, you keep getting stuck. Could you hear me? What I just said?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. Another thing is to look at changing up your chord voicings, looking at interesting ways to express the same chord in different ways, because sometimes you might say you went for the most basic voicing of a chord. If you just literally reharmonize the chords around your melody, so you kind of completely change the chords. The reharmonization is one, and changing the chord voicings of your existing chords. Two ways to make your whole song can sound different, but it will still have like the same feeling that you're going for. But I think a great thing is to not get too attached to your first arrangement of a song, because I think we all do that. I do that, of course, definitely. Say I'm sitting for a scratch and I've put down a vocal melody, I put down some chords, and I feel like it's a lazy tendency that we have. And also you're like, I like that, I'm not going to change it, I'm going to add to it. But it can be fun to completely close it, open a new project, and start it all over again. Do that process a couple of times and see what you come up with, because it's nice to break that. We all do this. I mean, I'm sure if any musician is watching this, I'm sure you've done this. You're like, no, and later, in hindsight, you'll be like, that was not so good, it could have been better, but I just got so attached to that first thing that I put down, and something that I'm trying to break away from doing that. So okay, yeah.
Is he someone you know, or he or she?
No, I don't know him. A given song is built around a sample. How can you make the same 16-bar loop sound interesting in a 3-minute song? Okay. I would say try, okay, a fun thing that you can try. Okay, I'm someone who, I used to be more of a live musician before. Now I'm starting to look at production a little more, but I primarily used to play live first. And then like my first two EPs, like any of the songs with the band, we have all recorded together. Like me on keys, my bassist, drummer, and guitarist, we play together live, and then I overdub the vocals. So I am very from the live school of thought and less from the looping something, cutting, pasting. You know, I'm not one of those people so much. So a fun thing you can do is to just take some takes, say whatever your instrument is, take some takes where you go through the whole song and just play over it. Because you never know what one part came out nicely in that. Instead of trying to look for like a riff that you play once and then you paste it and you make a loop and then you add an extra element and you build the loop and you keep adding things to it, which also works. I'm not saying that's also nice, but try just completely playing over your whole song and do that like 5 times, 5 different takes. And you never know which part you come up with something fun. Maybe you want to then cut that and loop it. But I'm just saying as a technique, just try playing your instrument like soloing over a full song. That can make it more interesting because you can come up with something really organic. You never know what you can come up with on the spot without really planning it.
Right. I've seen a lot of artists and bands also just jamming it out and then cutting and pasting pieces of that jam, making a song, and then learning that song for live performances. So the first time they craft that song is actually virtual, not
so that's something that I never used to do. I think in the lockdown, because now I don't meet my band and I do it myself. Maybe I'm trying to look more at building a song on your software, but that's fun, like just doing it in the moment. And then when we play live, especially every single gig, the songs will sound different because a lot of the elements are just improvised and all of the band members listening to each other, playing off of each other's energy. Oh, he played something nice there, I'm going to do this to go with that. And it's all in the moment. It's really fun. Yeah,
a lot of fun. Girish asks, how can we help most of the people around us to listen to, support and appreciate good original music by smaller, less followed or non-international artists?
So difficult. I mean, it is really difficult because, of course, if you have friends who are really into indie music, there are some people out there who are really supportive. I love all of you because those are the people who have really helped me from day one by just being supportive of all artists, regardless of their numbers, regardless of their commercial quotient or whatever. Those people are great because they listen to everything. But most people will be like, who's this? Oh, they have only this many followers. Oh, like what kind of genre is this? It's really, really hard to tell them, please listen to this. It's a local talent. They're up and coming. It's really hard, but don't give up. Just keep making them listen to it. Take your friends to a gig. If you're one of those M2, like I used to love attending other people's gigs. Like in Bombay, new act is playing, like I'll just go. I like to check it out live, and it's a great way that we all support each other in that way. But sometimes just take your friends for gigs, like eventually when they happen, because you never know. That very skeptical person, like when they see it in front of their eyes, they might be like, wow, this is actually really cool. This is an Indian artist, really? Like you need to, I like the question because we do need to convert people, because it's either international artists or Bollywood or indie artist who has like huge following. That's like the criteria. Okay, then I'll listen to it. It's hard to convert such people. Yeah, it's not easy, but don't give up.
True. Beatpala has one more question. Where did you get the tie-dye from?
I got this from Nepal last year for my Leftovers tour. We got to play in Nepal and it was amazing. It was one of the most fun trips with my band. And Nepal has really, really trippy t-shirts and they're really cheap. This t-shirt, if you convert to Indian rupees, was like 200 rupees. I mean, that's really cheap for a cool t-shirt. Like it'll be way more in India. So
there's a lot of batik going around over there.
A lot of what?
A lot of batik prints also.
Yeah, really cool prints, like trippy t-shirts and comfy cotton ones. Yeah, I definitely want to go back there someday.
Sinister Official is asking, do you produce along with your band and how do you coordinate?
I think that it varies from song to song. for Leftovers, for the earlier stuff, actually it really, really differs because autocorrect was a different process. Leftovers was like a lot of sitting with the band. All of those songs we played live for a year before we even recorded them. So in every gig, we would keep sitting in rehearsals and keep changing it up for our own entertainment. Okay, this song, let's just add this new section, or let's just change the rhythm of this section completely, or let's just keep making changes to it so that we are like playing it live and we're like, oh, excited, new part's coming now, new part. Okay, let's be excited about this song. And over a year, all of those songs transformed again and again and again. And then when we recorded it, like I said, just one take of like start to end of the song, we played together. So that arrangement was, like I make the basic arrangement with the keys and the vocals, like A section, B section, like these are the parts. But the nuances were very organic after playing together at many, many, many shows. The music that I'm making now, I am sitting on it at home and like producing every little part and like playing it on the MIDI keyboard, like working with different producers, going back and forth, because I'm not very good with making tones. I don't have that. I mean, I'm just learning all of this stuff. So I'll send it to them. Can you make this sound more like nicer, more smooth? Like you make a tone for this drum. I'm just going to play it roughly on my keyboard and you make it sound like this and that. So that's kind of my process right now, but I wouldn't say I'm open to different things. I think with every release and every album or whatever I do, I will keep trying new things. So I'm not really set in my ways like that. Mohit is the guy who produced Sambar Soul, by the way. For everyone who's been saying that they like the song, get in touch with this guy, Mohit Rao. He's an amazing producer and guitarist, very young guy, very talented guy. And I've known him from when I started out. And he's really fun to work with also. And we had a lot of fun working on the song.
Props to Mohit. Has it ever been like you want to make music, but you're kind of lazy, but you really want to make music? So you say, screw it and go Netflix instead. I'm sure all of us have been.
Yeah, of course. Like laziness. I mean, yeah,
finishing a PPT or
anything that you have to do. Cleaning your house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Classical music is beautiful and the fusion you're creating is amazing. 100% support for you. Sinister.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mohit says the pleasure was all his.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, like, because we are good friends for like a few years before this. So
I think that's the most
important to have a good positive vibe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm in a major beat block. What do you mean by a beat block?
Like a writer's block?
Writer's block. Oh, beat block. Oh, he's beat wala also, right? Is that your handle? Yes.
Yeah.
Beat block. Listen to music. Stop thinking about what you have to make. Just close your sessions. Do not make anything for a while and just listen to music. And don't put pressure on yourself. I have to create a great beat. It's okay, man. You can do whatever you want, and a great beat will come to you when it does, when the time is right.
Do you have a fixed mixing engineer? No, I'm sure he moves around. He's not fixed.
Different people. Like I've worked with a lot of different people, so I don't have a fixed. No.
Favorite Carnatic ragam? That's again a difficult one to pick.
I like Riti Gowla a lot, I would say, maybe. But yeah, difficult one to pick. Yes.
Dad jokes, yeah, but I'm not a dad yet, so yeah. It's bad news for me. Hey, Sneha's here.
Hi, Sneha.
There was something else. How long have you learned Carnatic classical for?
I learned it very on and off. I was, when your parents put you into classes as a kid and you resist it because you're a kid and you're dumb, you don't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
I like every other South Indian kid. That was also me. So it was very on and off. I think maybe I think if you look at the most constant stretches were in middle school and high school. So maybe 5, 7, 8 years, 8, 9 years of serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello to you too, Sneha.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite artist?
That's a difficult question. I don't have one favorite. I just listed so many of them in the beginning of this. Yeah,
We'll
I
have
can't.
to another section to discuss that and still not
Yeah.
arrive at an answer at the end of it.
No, there
Yeah.
can't be one. No.
Can't be.
The Carnatic
For-
has definitely helped me today. That's the foundation and the of everything that I do. That is everything
People
for
think
me.
that South Indians keep praising Carnatic because they are South Indians. No, that's not the case. I mean, the depth of variations that you learn in Carnatic and I think the fodder that your own imagination receives
Yeah.
while undergoing that training, I don't think it can be matched by anything else. Because then you can pretty much take on anything.
Anything. And also, I keep telling my students in my classes that to stop looking at, okay, I think I'm on this trip, don't look at genres, don't look at labels, but every form of music, essentially the building blocks are what? They are a set of notes, and the variants that are possible are the same. Like the second, third, sixth and seventh have a flat variant, the fourth has a sharp variant. That's the same across genres, and then your rhythm time signatures and the building blocks are the same. What differentiates different styles of music? One is the tone, if you're singing, the vocal tone that you use, and the other is when you sing anything, you have certain fixed notes and you move between notes. There is a space between notes, like to go from ga to pa, you'll bring it there in a certain way. So
Correct.
way that you arrive, like the way that you go between different notes, that will vary from style to style. That I think the tone and the space between the notes are what differentiate different styles of music, but essentially all music is the same. And you should stop saying like, oh, like for example, in fusion, oh, the Carnatic part, the jazz part. No, there's no part like that. It is one, organic thing. And it's so like if you learn an Indian art forms like Carnatic, Hindustani, they are a great foundation because after that you can understand any other style of music.
Correct, because you start seeing patterns, you start understanding these, okay, this is how I learned it, this is what this guy has done with it. So
Yeah.
you kind of blend better, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm a classical musician, even in dance. Okay, yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm a classical musician, learned Carnatic for more than a decade. It just sorts your pitch and rhythm. I can maneuver better in any genre. True.
So true. And also the skill of improvisation, which Western musicians, it's like a thing that, oh, this person is good, so they're able to improvise. Otherwise, I can just sing songs. Like the whole spirit of Indian classical music is improvisation. So it's like,
True.
You can create whatever you want. You don't have to have like notation in front of you or a fixed, piece. You can really create anything. So that is really good.
Beatwala is on his way to Nepal to pick up t-shirts. But he also ordered soup, so he'll have to finish that before he reaches the airport.
Oh, but in Nepal you get like amazing momos and
Yes.
like soup and all of that stuff. Yes.
I'm saying like I'm talking like I've been there, but I've heard.
It's really good. Like, oh yeah, great.
So guys, it's over an hour now. I think we
Yeah,
should
I
wrap up.
think yeah. Thanks for all
So,
your questions and for like sticking around.
Add your favorite Spotify playlist.
What? A favorite Spotify playlist for me?
Yeah. No. Beatwala is asking for your favorite Spotify playlist so that he can add
I
it to
don't
his.
have any favorite Spotify playlist like that. Sorry. I don't know the names. I just keep listening to.
True.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, Aditi.
Yes.
Sparing
Thanks for
time.
having me.
And sorry about the technical glitches, everyone.
No, it's cool. It's all. I think it sorted itself out.
Yep. Eventually, like everything.
Yeah.
ठीक है. See you.
Yes. See you.
Stay
See you
safe.
guys,
Take care,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.